I guess I first found out what bodybuilding was when I was 16 years old. I always had a good physique because I was always keeping myself in shape and in good form for like sports, so I could excel in my sports I was in. Um, but one of my buddies actually gave me a Ronnie Coleman DVD, and I watched the Ronnie Coleman DVD and kind of sparked my interest. I was really interested in what those guys look like, and I guess I just knew that's what I wanted to do. That's what something just sparks inside you and tells you that's what you want to do. And people always ask me, why do you want to look like that? It's just kind of, you just know. Like you're gonna ask a baseball player, why does he want to hit a ball for 400 feet? It's because he wants to be the best at the sport. It's just something that, yeah, inside you tells you that's what you want to do. So this is meal 3 for me. It is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What I'm having here is just the steak sub, and after my steak sub, I'll have my protein bar with my steak sub. This is probably over 100 grams of protein in this meal. Close to probably 200 grams of carbs in this meal as well. So it's one of the bigger meals in my day. So. I eat pretty much the same thing from day to day. I guess different variations of things from day to day, but basically the same thing. Chicken, obviously, steaks, lean beef, fish. That's all main sources of protein. For the carbohydrates, it's more of a pasta, rices, breads, that type of deal. With the diet, right now, I'm probably consuming probably 500 or 600 grams of carbohydrates a day, along with 300 or 400 grams of protein per day. So I guess with the diet also, you do variations, and it's pretty much a trial and error about how your body reacts to your diet. If your body reacts better to a high fat diet or more fats in your diet, you use that kind of diet rather than having a high carbohydrate diet or high protein diet.
So this is the 6th meal of the day for me, and this is my meal before I go work out tonight, and it contains chicken and rice, and there's about 65 grams of protein in this and about 100 grams of carbohydrates. This is definitely one of my biggest meals of the day because this is one of my most important meals. The pre-workout and the post-workout meals for bodybuilders are most important, and this contains most nutrients for me to go through my whole workout. So.
Stereotypes with bodybuilding. I guess meathead is the big one that goes along with the stereotypes. As a bodybuilder, I guess I wouldn't call them meatheads because it's a very scientific sport, really. If you're a bodybuilder, I think you definitely have to know a lot about nutrition, sleep, exercising. I would say most bodybuilders know more about nutrition than actual nutritionists. So it's really a complex sport to get that kind of label. Another stereotype with bodybuilding would be steroids. I guess the two kind of coincide because when people think of bodybuilding, they think of steroids. I guess what most people forget is all the hard work that we and bodybuilders have to do to get your physique to that point. I think they pick the easy way out because they can't comprehend. So the extent of supplements for me at this point is just whey protein and pre-workout. With pre-workout, it's just pretty much energy booster to get you to the gym and have a focus throughout your workout. That's protein and pre-workout is pretty much the extent of my supplements at this point. Okay, bodybuilding is a 24/7 type of thing. I know with me, I schedule classes around my eating schedule. For example, I know I always schedule an 8 a.m. because it gets me up for my breakfast and it gets me up for my first meal and to get my first meal in for the day. And after that, I always make sure to have an hour or two in between classes so I have time to eat or get meals in before my next class. So
this is about an hour after my sixth meal of the day, and I'm taking my pre-workout before I go to the gym. About 25 minutes before I go to the gym, I'll take my pre-workout, and then while I'm taking my pre-workout, I come up here, watch Jay Cutler YouTube videos, just kind of motivational, and reminds me how much more work I still have to do. So
the difference of lifestyle between bodybuilders and everyday people is pretty different. It's a pretty big difference there. I guess the biggest difference would be eating. You're always your mind's always constantly running about how you're gonna fit your next meal in, or what you're gonna do for your next meal, or what you're gonna eat for your next meal, along with fitting training into your schedule. Lifting. That's always going through your head when you're gonna have time throughout the day to fit lifting in. And also another key main aspect of bodybuilding is sleep. You got to get the proper amount of rest for your body to grow. So it's your mind's always running. It's a 24/7 thing, like I said. It's your mind never stops thinking how to improve itself. Thinking your mind never stops with ways of thinking how you can improve your physique from day to day.
Yeah, you're good for 3 weeks. $290. You were right on it. You said $290. Yeah. Hey Krieger, you gonna be that weird dude in the background?
My first competition for bodybuilding, I don't have a set date, but obviously it's going to be after college. I think during college, a bunch of college kids and even high school kids, they rush into doing shows, and they're still growing. And with them doing shows, it's hard on their body, and they're not getting to their full potential of growth. So I think after college, you're pretty much done growing. So, you have more developing to do, but after college is pretty much, a good time. I think it's a good time to do things, to kind of start things off.
How to train?
Yeah.
Heavy weight, 12, 15 reps. Low carbs, watch your fat intake. Obviously high protein. No sodium. Make you retain too much water. And just cardio. A lot of that. Something me and Matt don't do.
You're gonna have a bad attitude when you die down. It sucks. You get angry.
You're bad for you.
You do.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
I don't even want to think about that. So the things I want to achieve in bodybuilding are, first of all, getting a pro card, and after that, my other goal would be becoming Mr. Olympia. Mr. Olympia is if you're Mr. Olympia, you're the best bodybuilder in the sport. And I know people always say, set goals, reach them, and then set more goals. But I think if you don't set your goals at the highest point, that you're underachieving yourself. You're underachieving what you can possibly do. So I'm saying set your standards high and go for the best.